senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you my 5 waiver wire ads for Week 8 of the fantasy football season. Hopefully your fantasy seasons are going well to date, but if you're looking for some pickups for this week, here are 5 players I would consider adding to my roster if you need them at the various positions. All right, let's kick it off. The first one is Patriots quarterback Matt Jones. Jones had his first 300-yard game of his career last week. He was 24 of 36 for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns against a pretty good Jets secondary. Their rush defense isn't very well, but the Jets do have a pretty good secondary and have done well against the pass most of the season. Jones has multiple touchdowns 3-4 games. He looks to be getting more and more comfortable in the offense every week. I think he's a good streaming play for fantasy teams. I wouldn't just put him in my lineup and watch him go the rest of the year, but I think he's a good spot play for fantasy teams. So if you're looking for a spark at quarterback, looking for somebody to use on a spot start basis, I would consider adding the rookie Mac Jones. My next waiver wire ad is Bengals tight end CJ Uzomah. Uzomah has touchdowns 3 or 4 games. He had multiple touchdowns for the second time of the season last week. He has 2 games with 90-plus yards as well. He does have 4 games with 20 yards, with fewer than 20 yards, so he's a little touchdown dependent, but it's good to see him get some yards and some big games on the yardage front instead of just catching touchdown passes as well. So the potential is there for him to do both. He plays in a great offense. If you're looking for a spark at tight end, I would consider grabbing Uzomah. I think he has some potential going forward. Again, he might be a little hit or miss because he's a little touchdown dependent, but it is encouraging seeing him get some yards in recent weeks, and he's available in 50% of leagues. My next waiver wire ad is another Patriot. It's running back Brandon Bolden. The position is not very great right now to pick up players, the running back spot. So if you're looking for one, I would consider adding Bolden, who's emerged as the top pass-catching back for the Patriots. He has just 8 carries all season, but he has 4 or more receptions, 3 or 4 games. He caught a lot of passes last week. I think his stock's rising right now as the top pass-catching back for New England, and he's available in 91% of leagues. Again, not a lot out there on the running back for the running back position on the waiver wire, but one of them is Brandon Bolden, and he's getting the catches. My next waiver wire ad is Cowboys receiver Michael Gallup. Gallup was placed on injured reserve after the first week of the season, suffered a calf strain, but he has been cleared to practice. He's going to practice this week. Looks like he could return to the lineup this week as well. He got dropped in a lot of leagues. He's available in 58% of leagues after that injury, and he's the number 1 receiver in a very good passing game. He's a former 1,000-yard player as well. I think he has a very high weekly ceiling. If you're looking for a receiver, I would consider adding Gallup to my lineup. My last waiver wire ad for Week 8 is another receiver, Giants receiver Darius Slayton. Slayton returned to the lineup last week. He led the Giants in receivers in catching 5 passes for 63 yards on 9 targets. The Giants are all beat up at receiver right now, have a lot of injuries. Slayton's going to play a big role in this offense the next few weeks. He's available in 83% of leagues on our site, so I think Slayton's another good ad at the receiver spot. Okay, those are my 5 waiver wire ads for Week 8 of the fantasy football season. Good luck navigating that waiver wire this week. Hopefully you get all the players you want on your roster. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day.